Welcome again to Beyond the Court. I have a very interesting guest today about a subject I was waiting a long time to speak about, basketball injuries. Hello, Liran Gurevich.
Hello, Inon. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm perfect. I'm very good. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and a privilege. Thank you for the opportunity, and I've been waiting for a couple of days to
Thank
speak
you.
with you.
Thank you for sparing the time. It's Shana Tova. It's Rosh Hashanah now in Israel. You're in
Shana Tova.
Israel, and we'll speak later about where you are because it's connected to me. But I want to tell the audience how we met. It's shortly. Excuse me, a bit of water. It's my son was playing in the academy of Jan was playing for the academy of Hapoel Galil Elyon, and he just started there, and everything was wonderful. And unfortunately, he needed to. Everything stopped when the 7th of October happened, and he just packed the bag very fast and came back to Stockholm. We will speak about it later, but I met you because then I had a very, very personal problem, health problem. I had a frozen shoulder, and I asked the manager, the sport manager, Leo, who can help me. He said, Liran can help you. And we met, and you showed me, in that time, I'm lefty. I couldn't lift my arm, you remember? I came
I remember.
to your workshop, and you showed me some exercise with this stick of the metate, of the...
Broomstick, very fundamental exercise, yes.
Broomstick goes up, go down, and I started to do, it helped me, I have to say. It didn't solve the problem, but it helped me because the problem probably needed some time in order to solve, right? To be solved.
Exactly. We were speaking about it at the time that specifically the problem that you were dealing with, frozen shoulder, it's something that the patient has to understand that there's a beginning, work phase, and an end. As soon as you can diagnose and start working, you're making 50% of the job.
I wonder, what do you think? Do you relate it to physical issue, to mental issue, to both? Well, what's your perspective about the frozen shoulder, although it's not connected to the basketball, but...
So, of course, when I started my study, physiotherapy here in Israel, so the subject is very clinical, so not a lot of talking about the mental aspect. So first of all, you learn anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, all those stuff that ends in weird names, and it's doesn't give a lot of space and time to to everything that goes in the head.
Well, from my experience, Liran, every time you go to a doctor, to regular doctor, he refuse or he not give so much respect to the alternative and the mental side. I don't know. It's what they are teaching in school. But me, from my life experience, I always relate almost everything to the mental also, body and mind,
As
Also the frozen shoulder.
I think that as the years goes by, even the Western medicine understand that you cannot separate between the two. You cannot treat only the body. As well, you cannot only treat the mind. So a person that deals with mental issues, of course, he has to also be active, maybe be more hours outside of the home. But I will propose another syndrome that is very familiar meeting doctors in the public system. For example, a guy feels that he's feeling very bad or feels ill and needs to see a doctor, and he comes to the doctor asks what's wrong, and all of a sudden he doesn't really know the right answer. He doesn't even know why he came at the first place. So it's also like the fact that he met a doctor or, came to see someone that will take care of him already made him feel better. So what's the problem?
Exactly.
Is it health or is it?
I'll tell you personally, I went to doctors a few times. I was sick, I had something, and then they gave me the medicine. And when I took the medicine, it's like, I didn't even go on with the medicine, I needed some care, you know what I mean? I needed mentally to feel something, and there is also the placebo effect, of course, for everything. But let's go back, Liran. Tell me a bit about yourself, about your path in the physiotherapy world. But I want to say first that you are working with the Hapoel Galil Elyon from the First League of Israel.
Yes, sir.
Since 4 years or?
Since 2023.
Since 23, you do many other things. Tell me a bit about yourself and the physiotherapy world. The connection,
Yes,
I
with
mean.
pleasure. So I'm 34 years old. Recently had my first child. Mati is his name.
Mazal
In
tov.
last July, yes. Healthy and growing well. And I've started my physiotherapy bachelor degree in 2017 in the Academic College of Tzfat here in the northern part of Israel. Learned for 4 years and graduated on 2021. Actually, my first job and my first field of work wasn't specifically with athletes and wasn't specifically orthopedic injuries and stuff like that. So my first job was in the rehabilitation, neurological rehabilitation, orthopedic rehabilitation in rehabilitation institute in Reut Hospital in Israel. And if we're go back to your last question, so this is the first time that I met the interaction between the mental side and, the physical side. I've seen a lot of people with pain syndromes and stuff like that. So stuff that are not usually originated from, for example, a car crash or a traumatic injury. Sometimes it involves a deeper story from the psychic of the patient. But I got the opportunity to work with the second division basketball team after in the middle of my first year as a physiotherapist, and I grabbed the opportunity. I'm myself until the age of 19. I was an athlete. I was playing volleyball and soccer or football.
So
in Israel.
You felt what is it to play and to make
I
sports?
know how it was to be in a locker room. I know the dynamic. I know, the obsessive seeking for a win or for a success. So it was. I felt pretty comfortable going to this adventure, and from the first time in the locker room, I was just everything came back to me. I remember why I loved it so much. A group of people working together, practicing together towards, a shared goal. That was something that I didn't know how much I missed it. And I spent 2 years with Ra'anana. In the meantime, trying to learn a little bit more about the orthopedics side of physiotherapy and try to get in contact with more athletes. I had the opportunity and the privilege to work with the beach volleyball team of Israel, the national beach volleyball team, both men and women, some young athletes in high schools. But in the second year,
I guess, Liran, that beach volleyball injuries might be a bit different than basketball injuries, right? A bit of different
Yeah,
environment. They play on the sand, right? Barefoot?
they play on the sand and,
Barefoot or
you know,
with shoes? Barefoot.
barefoot. They
Barefoot.
play barefoot, sometimes with, with swimsuits. It's an amazing sport. I recommend as a viewer, not as a physiotherapist. Amazing sport.
Sure, you go to the
And
sea, you watch in the sea, you take a beer, you watch on the sea. It's nice,
amazing. When I was working with them, 7 o'clock in the morning in the beach of Netanya, 2 times a week. Amazing, amazing atmosphere, uh, amazing people, and that was the beginning of me in the in the pro athlete or elite athlete field of work. I was working 1 year in a private clinic, which specialized mainly in orthopedic injuries. But then came the offer, and then we met. Came the offer from Galil Elyon, first division, a big opportunity for me. And since then, I'm here. My girlfriend is from the north. I studied in the north. I live here from 2016. And when the offer came, there was nothing to think. That I didn't think twice. I took it, and I just started my third season with Galil.
When you just
And
speak about the work and about your place in the basketball hall in Kibbutz Kfar Blum, and I want to cry, really, really. It's 2 months, but I met so much wonderful people, and the area is so wonderful. And to think about the surrealistic situation of it bombing all the time by Hezbollah rockets, the most beautiful part of Israel, it's crazy. We'll get back to it. So, you started with the Hapoel Galil Elyon, and tell me about a bit about your routine, weekly routine with the team. I guess that if there is a specific injuries, and there are, you deal with it, or you help. What do you do? But also maybe there is a kind of routine of working with the players about massages or stuff like this.
of course. So a weekly routine in the first division. I'm not only dealing with the specific injuries that may occur during the season. Usually, I will get there before the players, so 2 hours, 1 hour and a half before even the practice starts. You need to set up your work environment, and you need to prepare the players for the practice, either taping or massages or warming up or just guidance for a specific warm up or an exercise for prevention or to get them ready for practice. Those guys go on the court every practice of the week giving 100%, and they have like 100% more that they will save to the game. And they are practicing for at least 6 times a week. So in weeks that we have 2 games, it means 7 practices and 2 games. So there's not a lot of rest time.
And there is gym also.
Exactly. There are some weight room units, recovery units, treatments. And of course, I'm with them on the court. A big part of my job is to be there when an injury occurs or when it happens. That way
That means being all the practices, being all the games also.
Exactly. So being part of the team, understanding, knowing the weaknesses and strengths of every player, knowing how a player moves regularly, so you can see when he's doing different movement because he's feel pain, or maybe because there's something isn't right or inconvenience. So being there all the time is a big part of my job, but it doesn't start and ends with physiotherapy.
And what I thought also is that every player has a different shape of body. Like a 210 center, heavy center is not like a guard. Each one of them need different, okay, this is something else about agility and mobility, but each one of them need a different aspect, different look.
Yeah. And from the beginning of the practice, it also brings different kind of injuries and different kind of maintenance. So let's say a heavier player we should see him maybe more and look after more of tendons and stuff like that. A heavy guy that jumps and decelerate his whole body weight, and when you land from a jump, you actually decelerating more than your body weight, sometimes even multiplied by 5. So
that's
The
interesting.
tendon, even though it would be very strong, the tendons and the soft tissue will have a lot of tension to deal with. And the more agile
it's like a small traumas for the body that accumulates.
Building up, yes.
Yeah, interesting.
And sometimes the big injury that we see at the end, that we treat at the end, is not the source of the problem. So if he compensates a movement every time with his ankle, might be the end of this chain that will suffer the most. So the hip joint or the lower back. And you need to do
the hip joint, when you say, the hip joint, yeah. But it comes actually from a problem that's the source is the ankle. Yeah.
You need to do the math and go a couple of steps backwards. It's not just going one step backwards and see where did he fell on the court. Maybe even go and analyze the body and diagnose, like, what's the source? Of course, we will treat the pain in the hip joint, but we need to see how's the range of motion in the ankle, or where his knee deviates when he's absorbing all his body mass.
And you have methods to measure this? What I mean, maybe not one-to-one mathematic, but I guess by maybe tests with machines or without machines, right?
Of course. Of course, that when I meet a patient, either it's a player or, an average man from the street. So my first time meeting him, it requires an interview. First of all, I want to hear from the player or from the person what's wrong. The way that he describes it leads me to a specific kind of diagnosis. And afterwards, we're going to more objective tests. And those are kind of standard tests. But for example, if he says that he suffers from a knee pain, I need to check the joint below. I need to go maybe a little bit upward to check the range of motion in the hip. So those are objective tests that lead me. Of course, you can measure. We have some like items that we can create measures of range of motions and stuff like that. But I need to track about all those elements in order to come to one diagnosis.
I understand. Okay, I'm going to make a small pause and speak about Beyond the Court. Now, if you were with me, I will give you a t-shirt, I print a t-shirt to my guests. But when I will visit my homeland, you will get one for sure. And for the audience, I would like to ask you to like and subscribe and help me grow. It's not commercial. I don't have sponsors, but I do it from the love for the game. So, I wrote here a list of things, but while we're speaking, I want to make it spontaneous suddenly. So when you speak about ankle, and it's one of the injuries of basketball, sprain ankle. And as I understand, for example, it can happen from you spraining your ankle by yourself or by jumping and landing on the foot of someone else, right? Or maybe there's more ways. I don't know. Now, it's connected to me. Why? Because suddenly, few weeks ago, my son is playing. Okay, we know that, and today's basketball shoes are low. It's not used to be. In my time, we have the Converse, the All Stars, the high shoes that at least theoretically protecting better the. But now they almost look like a sneakers. The David Booker Nike, it looks like a sneakers that you walk on the street. So I ask myself, okay, from one side, maybe it's more comfortable for the player. From the other side, his ankle is more exposed. So I said to Jean, my son, Jean, what do you think about playing all the time with kind of protection to your ankle? Also, I remember from Michael Jordan time or stuff from movies, they used to tape it, really to tape with the tape. Now, I don't
Yes,
know if
they
they do
still
it
do.
today. Huh?
They still do.
What do you think about this subject? I mean, do you think that people need always to play, or just if they have some sensitivity or injury already? Because Jean told me, I spoke with my coach, he said, if you're good, don't put something. What's your perspective here?
So, like you said, ankle sprain, which is notoriously for an injury in basketball, it's the most common one in the field of basketball. It's probably the most common injury of a lower body. And in basketball, they saw, you were talking about the shoes, that a player can score the same amount of point and sprain his ankle the same amount of times, whether the collar of the shoe is higher or lower. So they didn't saw any difference between a high collar shoe or a low cut
There is
shoe.
no, for your opinion, there is no difference.
There is no difference. Otherwise, everybody would play with that. There are still some models that are higher, but I think it's only a matter of, of preference. It's not.
But they put also these cushions in the side, like so it's hard when I pick a shoe or I want to buy a shoe to Jean, of course I buy him what he wants. But I say, is this shoe is a bit more solid, or this shoe, you know what I mean? I think about it.
Mhm. So the thing is that nowadays, again, basketball became a sport that plays, and also the big players, the big point guards and stuff like that are dribbling masters. They know how to dribble, how to cross over. They are playing very low and close to the ground. To do those kind of movements, or to do those kind of change of motions, change of directions, sorry, you have to be able to move your ankle in different kind of angles. You don't want anything to restrict it, but you do want to create prevention for an injury or for a more severe injury. Okay, I know from meeting American players from overseas that are saying that in their college there was an obligation, it was mandatory to tape ankles, at least for a game. We know that also from college football, that in games sometimes they have to wear a brace for their knees in order to prevent ACL injuries. But although it's something that is very common and very regular in the field of basketball, taping the ankles or buying high shoes or using ankle braces does not exclude the player to do exercises or to create prevention. I see first division players in Israel that cannot stand more than 10 seconds on one foot and pass the ball while doing it. That's crazy in the terms of, physical abilities. They are playing on their feet. They are jumping on one foot. They need to land on one foot. How can they don't have this balance on one foot? So
I think when sorry, I'm standing just a second because I wanna say something. You see me? So I have this Pilates pillow that is moving.
Yeah.
So,
Pita.
I'm 57 years old. Until a few years ago, I would play like crazy with 20 years old, and my wife said, "Well, what are you doing? You are too old for this." And I had injuries. So or once I saw LeBron James on some silicone thing, all this stuff. And when you think about it, when you speak about it, I immediately imagine this stuff, that kind of stuff that can help maybe teach the ankle to be more flexible.
Or make the connection between senses, eyes, visual senses, the weight on your foot, make them more coordinated with your ankle or with your reactions. Now I will, in your permission, I will speak outside of basketball
Sure.
about day-to-day life. In our ankle joint, there's a lot of sensors. Let's call them sensors. Okay, they are mechanical sensors. They help us to know where our limb or where is our leg and ankle is in the room. Are they above my head? Are they on the side? This way we can walk barefooted in the house and not stuck our feet all the time in the leg of the table, you
Yeah.
know? So when we are not working on your ankle, this sense and this, this capability doesn't go away, but it's less accurate. So whether you are a 57 years old basketball player or whether you are LeBron James, both of you needs to work on your ankle on a weekly basis, at least. Those kind of
You mean like
exercises,
barefoot? That's what you mean?
barefoot is even better. So my patients will never work on ankle stability or ankle range of motion when they are wearing shoes, for
Yeah.
example. We want the sense of the ground underneath our feet. We want to know how to react to changing of the surface that we are standing on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you play basketball on concrete, and sometimes you are walking on grass. In
Right.
both of the situations, you need to know how to react to the changes. You need to know how to react when your leg is standing on a different kind of level of surface.
So
So
there is a kind of routine or something that you work with the players that will help them hopefully to prevent this injury or prevent a severe injury of ankle.
exactly. So a player that comes to me and decides to tape his ankles before a practice or a game, immediately this player needs to have a prevention routine. This routine, he would exercise before practice. This routine, he will exercise and do and complete in the weight room unit, because bracing your leg won't make your ankle stronger or more stable. The other way around. So you need to compensate on that situation of you playing taped or braced by making your ankle stronger, more stable, range of motion that won't, most of the players that tape loses their very crucial range of motion of dorsiflexion. Sorry that I'm using terms that are out of this world,
No,
but
no, no. We would like you to use the term because we want to learn. So yeah.
but um,
But so Liran, as I understand your words, is the more important from taping or always is the work that done over a long range of time, which is teaching or working, teaching the ankle flexibility, working in the sand or whatever, or with Pilates or whatever, I don't know, whatever can help you to make your ankle ready for this.
yes, your ankle should be familiar and familiar with different kind of surfaces. Okay, your neurological system needs to be aware about like the change of surface, or when it landed on uneven surface, he needs to know how to react. Not only the ankle react, but the muscles in our hip, our core muscles needs to react, because all of our body is going to shift one direction. We need to know how to get it back to the center. So teaching our ankle to be more stable and be in a situation of being not stable on one leg as an exercise, it's beneficial. It's crucial, mainly as we get older.
Yeah.
Basketball player is another subject, which we will talk about today, but the ankle is something that we all need to be concerned and think of.
I understand. I understand. Yeah.
You were beginning with that. Just to wrap it up. There's no shoe and no tape and no brace that will help you, or that you don't need to do the exercises or the exercise for prevention. So this is the main message from speaking about sprain.
Can you give me one or two examples of exercises for the ankle, or you can stand?
Actually, that would be great. I don't know if you want me to demonstrate. I would do this, but I don't think that they will see the bottom of my leg.
Maybe later you can send me a short video, and I can merge it.
Perfect.
Merge it before publishing everything. That will be great. And maybe a short video. This is for me, for my selfish needs. How you tape.
Oh, that would be amazing. Actually, although it's not a very popular
subject. And then I will sell it to people with demand. You know what I mean? I say, you want to learn how to tape? Give me some money. I'll send you to.
As long as you give me the shirt of the podcast, I don't mind.
Sure. No problem, man. No problem.
So, but the main thing about practicing and exercising the ankle mobility and balance is, first of all, change of surface. So not being always on a very stable or the same surface. Second of all is to challenge your senses. So if our listeners and viewers can try this at home, standing up on one leg, which probably and should be very easy to everyone, try to do it with closed eyes. Just close your eyes for a second.
I'll try it right now, okay? So I did this standing on the leg, also in the pillow, closing my eyes. Yeah, it makes it a bit more difficult.
When we have like a visual connection with the environment, we can always see the level. We can see the horizon. We can see the landscape, so we understand which way or how should I stable myself or balance myself. When we close our eyes, we got no reference. We got no feedback from the environment. So now the ankle needs to work more. Third option, of course, it's to react. Okay, pass someone or use a tennis ball or something to throw on the wall and catch it back when you're standing on one leg.
Yeah.
When we are walking, we need to react to unexpected things. Yeah. A step or another player or someone is pushing us.
It's fast actions. Fast action exactly. Basketball.
We need to be reactive when we are trying to stable on one leg.
Yeah.
But I will send you videos. I think it will be good for you, but also it's very interesting.
Yeah, very.
Actually, last summer I was volunteering in Uganda. I was part of a health delegation to
Really?
work with professionals in Uganda.
Wow.
And we saw in the hospital of Entebbe that we made like a presentation talking about proprioception. Proprioception is like the clinical name of this connection between our neurological system and to the sensors in our ankles. So nice presentation. So I will send one video from there and you would be able to see.
Great.
Really
Great.
interesting.
Great. That's exciting, really, I have to say. Listen, yeah, let's go to other injuries. By the way, I want to say that I love basketball. If I hate a side in the game, it's the injuries. I hate, everybody hate to see a guy injured. It sucks. It sucks
Mm-hmm.
because when you know the behind the scene, you understand, a guy that used to play every day professionally, let's say, and this is okay. This is how he makes his living, also, but this is how he enjoys. Suddenly, it's prevented for him. He needs to sit in the side. It sucks mentally. I mean, the physically and mentally, and the mental is a side is a strong side of it. By the way, the next chapter, inshallah, will be with the sport psychologist from San Antonio. And
Wow.
then I'm gonna complete, you complete each other.
Yeah.
We will speak about the mental side, but mental side is really, really important when someone is injured. Well, you're not a sport psychologist, but maybe you can tell me a word or two about this rehab time or mental side, or how can you support or boost someone that is naturally feel sucks, because he knows that he won't be 3 months, 6 months, maybe 1 year out.
Yes. So for our listeners, I will. I remember that I saw Kevin Durant spoke, and we were also speaking about Kevin Durant
We go
injury
to Kevin Durant
because,
or Klay Thompson or both. We'll see.
yeah. So I remember I saw a podcast with Kevin Durant, and he's speaking about the day after the injury when he's at the hospital and he's been notified that he's going to be 11 months at least outside of the courts.
By the way, I come to
And
my mind also, sorry, Tyrese Haliburton in the rise at the last
yeah,
play. Horrible.
actually, last night I think it's the Rockets point guard Van Vliet also
Complete.
ACL injury. I
And
think.
and not in a game, formal game even. It's man, that's tough.
Yes, we'll get to that. So, but speaking about Kevin Durant, he was saying that he never stopped playing basketball and never for a year since he was a child. Like imagine a person. I'm saying to the listeners that like if they watch a professional sport and they see someone injured, like imagine stop doing what you're doing. It's not only your job, it's your passion, it's like it's your
It's not
salary,
a
it's
regular
everything.
job. It's not like you don't go to the bank now because you're injured. It's
Hmm.
something else. It's passion. It's fun. It's fun. Why people
So
sacrifice so much in order to be a professional? And I have a friend. I will send it to him. His surname is like mine. Moalem is Iraqi too. He said, sport is horrible. Sport is horrible for the body. I said, what the fuck? He said, no, professional. And there is something in what he says. There is something in what he says. When you become a professional sport athlete, it doesn't matter if basketball or what, you need to know that you sacrificing 1, 2, 3, 4, but you can gain much more. But there is so much stories of athletes that all their career was full with injured. There is, and people need to be aware for that. Unfortunately,
as I was saying, um, when I meet like professional player that deals with an injury, my point of view is that one cannot do professional sport or professional competition without trying to overcome his limits or to go near his limits.
Beyond the
And
limits.
yeah, beyond the limits. And sometimes the limit of your capabilities doesn't meet or exceeds the limits of your body in certain point. Then we see injuries, but you can't uh, you can't hope to do professional sport without getting injured. It's not another thing. It's not something that's supposed to take you away from your goals. It's integral in this course, in this process.
I agree.
So
And that's why I'm sure people don't. I'm not sports guy and not sports guy. I'm not eager to speak about injuries, right? They want to speak about the highlights, but it's a part of it. It's a part of. But I want to add one thing. A guy that is not capable to be under the pressure of this specific game. It can be first he's not ready with his condition, or he is washed, very tired, not necessarily because his fault, just because maybe the game plan is crazy and he needs to play it every 2 days like in NBA or other places. And we hear a lot of, I heard a lot of complaints about if you saw last year, I think one by one, Jason Tatum's and other, towards the end of the season, towards the beginning of the playoff, when the pressure is the back, boom, getting injured, and blaming the merchandise and the commercial and the money. And I think it's shit. It's something else. Because, okay, they earn $40 million. It means that they need to be exposed, you know what I mean, to so many pressure and so many of game plans. I don't think so, so it's also the part of the injuries.
the same conversation is now happening in all the major soccer leagues in all of Europe.
Right. I think
But
Jürgen Klopp, I think many big
yeah, when Liverpool
complaints.
suffered from a strike of injuries, Jürgen Klopp talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
It's when our culture as viewers and sport lovers and sports fans collide with the sport itself. We demand to see at least 2 occasions of professional food or professional sports occasions in a week. It's part of our day-to-day life. And the viewer demands that. There's a lot of money involved, and there's no stopping it. So, yes, I think that specifically on major injuries like ACL injuries and stuff like that, it became to a certain point where the collision is unavoidable. The players cannot. We reach to kind of not a limit, but we reach to this junction that we have to decide how we
Behave.
like who are the professional athletes, either those that we are seeing today, or we need more players in one team, and then who will be the stars or the faces of the leagues if we have so many players. So I don't know
I think. Well, it's a very very wide thing. I think the NBA it's too much of a show. But never mind. You know what? Let's go for let's go for these two major injuries of the two big players. We can speak first. For example, Klay Thompson. He had excuse me, torn ACL, left knee. He came back and then torn Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
And Kevin Durant in 2019 playoffs, right calf strain, then torn Achilles tendon. So, I remember because it was not long ago, the Kevin Durant is out. Golden State played against Toronto, and everybody says, "Oh, Kevin Durant should be in. He should help the team." And da 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 di di di. And he came, and I don't forget this. How puff, getting the Achilles tendon, and then started the talks. The team pressed him. The team didn't press him. What do you think? What do you think about it? Not about if the team pressed him, about I have my thoughts about these multiple injuries, but I don't understand. I'm not from the area. What do you think?
First of all, in the case of a major player suffering from major injury in this point of the season, so of course there is pressure. I don't know how it goes in the NBA, but I tell you in Israel, in our league, of course there is pressure, but no team or no coach can come and say to a player that is hurting or injured or say that he's hurting, you have to play. This is the most important game of the season. We are paying you for that, so you have to play. There's nothing
they
like
don't
that.
have to say, but you know what I mean. They
there's
have
still pressure.
Yeah.
But also those players, we need to understand that they didn't got to this position to play in the NBA finals or even Israeli playoff by giving up meeting obstacles, So they want to be there. They want to be the guys that will shoot or score the important basket. They want to be in this position. This is what separates them from, average or how do you say, unprofessional athletes.
Yeah.
They want to be there. This is their biggest motivation, to be there in the crucial time. So sometimes, not every time, but sometimes it can get them and the medical staff to make controversial decisions. Okay? You said that Kevin Durant moment of injury was tough, but it was more like, if you see the video again, it was more like he wasn't, even if you see the game until he gets injured, you see that something is different. So he waits
Again, as you spoke before, he had what he had first. Sorry,
he had the calf sprain. So
yes.
probably something.
So tell me. I understand that what happened is that he was not ready still physically 100% and mentally. Mentally, I'm sure mentally, because you need a bit of confidence. You are unconfident when you come from a shay. And because of this compensation, something else happened and he was fucked, sorry for the word, in other place, in this Achilles tendon. So what actually happened there? If you can explain to me a bit from the physical point.
So let's speak a little bit of anatomy, okay? The Achilles tendon is a tissue that is assembled by 3 different tendons, and those are the tendons of the main calf muscles that create motion in the ankle. It's the same muscle that help us to jump and to push from the ankle. We're talking about the gastrocnemius and the soleus, and they are all gathered to this one tendon, very strong, that can, in some cases, endure more than 10 times our body weight. Okay, we are speaking about out of this world kind of tissue. It's not something that we can even imagine. And Kevin Durant suffered from a strain, not a sprain, a strain, which is sometimes referred as pulled muscle or something like that. the reality is that in the strain of a muscle, we get some small tears, microscopical tears in the tissue of the muscle. Usually it involves small tears. Sometimes it involves big tears that we'll measure in centimeters. But this tear and this damage to the tissue can also create pain or inconvenience or functional incompetence of the tissue. So the muscle doesn't work the same way or doesn't function the same way as an healthy muscle with an healthy tissue. I don't know if for a fact that was the reason, but when you summarize all the details about this injury, you say, of course, that an injured calf muscle won't be able to transfer or to decelerate your body weight, and all the tension came to the tendon of the back leg of Kevin Durant.
So it's very, very sorry again. I'm standing. Do you see me? So that's the calf, right?
Exactly.
So here is the sorry, I'll take it a bit down. Here is the Achilles. They are close to each other. It's not even far from each other. Now when I go to gym, I do this. For example, I want to strengthen a bit my ankle. I go up and down. I had an injury here, so actually you in a way you use both.
I will try to even explain it better. Maybe we will, while we'll edit, we will add like picture.
Sure.
Calf muscle is not working with the Achilles. The calf muscle is the Achilles. Okay. Like as a physiotherapist, as a clinician, people might be angry hearing that, but just to simplify that, the muscle tissue of the calf muscle transforms itself from muscle tissue to a connective tissue, which we call fascia, and then to a tendon, which a tendon is a different kind of assembly of collagen cells, okay? That's supposed to withstand those pressure and those tensions.
Yeah.
But a tendon doesn't have the ability of a muscle to contract and elongate. It only it stretches until a limit.
It's just connecting, no?
Yeah.
It's connecting between parts, right? So it's not active. It's
not active.
like
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not dynamic. It's not. And another difference between a muscle and a tendon is the blood supply. So you heard that Kevin Durant was out for more than a year. And by standard, an Achilles ruptured tendon, it's an injury that the recovery is at least 11 months. So
I read it can be between 12 months to 18 months or something even.
Exactly.
Until 18 months until you come back to yourself.
Exactly. So why when we are getting a strain in our muscle or a tear in our muscle takes us maybe 1 month to go back, 2 months or 10 weeks. What causes the damage in the Achilles, the tear in the Achilles, to take 12 to 18 months?
Because it's completely teared apart.
Of course, but another thing is, another characteristic of tendon that is the blood supply is very poor. And with poor blood supply, we are getting a slower healing process. So the body can get the materials that we need to repair a tissue less effective than it can bring it to a muscle, which is a very rich in blood kind of tissue, because a muscle needs oxygen almost all the time.
Yeah.
So this tissue recovers and heals very slow during the healing process, we create as less stretch to the tendon as we can, which causes a lot of other stuff. So weakness or atrophy in the calf muscle. If you don't use or stretch your Achilles, you're essentially not using your calf muscles. Besides being in a protective boot for a couple of weeks. So this explains why, for example, so few of the players that suffers from Achilles injury comes back to their normal, to the normal status.
Actually, for me, it's a small miracle that he and Klay Thompson came back. Well, we can say that if they will not be injured, of course they will be better, but still they came back and play in a high level, because this multiple injury, it's crazy. It's like put you 2 years out. Klay Thompson, I heard some interviews and all the mental struggle, and can I come back and maybe my career finished, and et cetera, et cetera. I also heard Halliburton saying, well, I don't know if he really meant us. He said, if I will need to do it again, I will go again and play, Just show you where is it coming from, this deep passion to the sport and the competition and the winning, that you're really willing to sacrifice your body.
This is what separates them from a regular person, but that's what puts them in a place where they are exposed.
Yeah.
Like they put their goal ahead of their body, and something probably will fail on the way.
They're exposed by all meaning, also to the media. This is another field.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But Klay Thompson is a really, really amazing story. Those 2.5 years outside, of the court in his age, his story is really rare from one side, but also began as a very tragic story. And from my point of view as a clinician, ended up on the best way it could end it. So he's now playing, I think, in the Dallas Mavericks. Of course, he's not the player that he used to be.
But he also aged. He became 35. Exactly. So this is another factor.
But
so maybe he lost the most important years when he was like 30, when he's still not aged, he's in peak, and he lost 2.5 of, because if you are let's say 21, 22, of course it's very bad, but when you come back, you are 24 just, but when he came back already, it was like 32 or 33.
Mm-hmm. And he was quoted, I think, I don't know if it's quote to quote, but he said, after what I suffered, I think that I might rushed things, which from my point of view is not necessarily accurate. Like Klay Thompson in his recovery took the time. He took the time to get back. He took the time to get back to practice, to contact. He was doing everything he had to do in order to prevent another ACL injury, but then he suffered from the Achilles.
And still he suffered, right? So on the paper, he did what he needed to do. The doctor permit him to go back and still, which take me to the mental side. You're already vulnerable physically, but mentally also. Well, I don't know what you can do. I mean, there's other example in Europe. I think Kenan Evans was also multiple. I was in the game. I went to Kaunas because it's close to me. I'm in Stockholm. I saw this game against Fenerbahce when after 2 minutes, boom, he got Achilles. Then he came back and another one. I don't know what was it, but it happened to many players. So, Liran, That was really interesting, and I will wait for these short videos or what you want to show me in order to merge inside the meeting. Tell me shortly, can you do something about I don't know, strengthening your Achilles or get him some way ready that might like this happened? I mean, is there something that you can do physically to, you know what I mean? To
Yes, I know. So strengthening like the kind of tissue that we're speaking about, the tendons,
not
is
possible?
not that easy
Yeah.
because we have to make sure, that there is no deficiency in our diet and stuff like that that can hurt like the soft tissue. But it's not common in professional athletes. We do know that most of the Achilles ruptures happened to players with a higher BMI, so heavier
Higher?
players. BMI, which is like the scale of height versus body weight, which is not very suitable for the Kevin Durant's case because he's relatively, he's very slim and not that heavy, but being too heavy in that situation probably doesn't help. But
That they are already tired physically and mentally for some long process.
exactly. So this brings me to the process of recovery. So when an NBA player, especially after a full season and in the middle of a very long playoff series, when he needs to cross the country, because it's a conference versus conference, so it's East versus West. So every away and home game, he has to do like these long flights that we don't know from Israel. It's not like going 2 hours to Galil Elyon. It's
5 hours,
maybe
much
five,
less.
6 hours of
Yeah,
sitting.
yeah.
And when you don't get this recovery, and when you are bringing another injury to the equation, you're putting yourself in a very big risk factor for this injury. When you are tired, like your anticipation is not the same. You don't know how to anticipate, and when you react, when you react slower, this is bring us to the main mechanism of injury of the Achilles. Reacting late, pushing very hard before the body can engage all of his muscle that he needs to change the direction, and then you have it.
It's something.
Other,
It's
other,
something. What I saw with Tyrese Alberton is like something you do. You wanted to make the first step, and you do something like this, and boom, here it happened. You know?
in the case of the Achilles, is the transformation from a relaxed position, the same as Durant, relaxed position, and then an unexpected uh,
Sudden.
beginning of motion. Rear leg is going very far behind, pushes very hard, and snap. So when
It's
you
like
are tired,
almost you can't prevent it. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. It's strange. It's strange, but yeah, I get it.
so I don't know if you can specifically prevent the cases of Achilles that we are talking about. Okay, so Kevin Durant, but another aspect of prevention, or another aspect of uh, giving 120% every time that you're on the court, is treating your body also as a professional, treating your rest time as a professional. The amount of sleep that you get, the amount of treatment that you do afterwards, the way that you are being able to relax yourself, relax your mind. So if you are going back and you want to see your friends and go join them for a party, maybe not drink or whatever, but you are not resting at the time, your body and your mind is dealing with, interruptions. And
What do you mean your lifestyle beyond the court, outside of the court? Also, what you eat.
yeah, it's not only what you're doing on the court and how many baskets you score, it's the way you treat your body.
Yeah.
We are seeing on the Netflix on starting five, we saw the way LeBron James treat his recovery sessions. So not everybody can afford that, but this is what it means. Like
I think
LeBron
about him
James,
is not just the money he has to do; it's his state of mind. He's is very, very professional and obsessive about the way he treats himself and his body. And I think that it's not just that. I think that he speaks a lot about, he said, my mind is strong, my mind is in the right place. And that's what give him it's like, he's strong, it's mentally strong. And I think it's also a factor, you know? It's not that he doesn't get injured, but you see that he's 40 years old and he doesn't have still major injuries, you know. He has injuries because he's already getting old, you know what I mean. Tell me, Liran, I want to speak with you a bit about stretching, and then one more thing. I remember a funny story I heard from about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, when I was a child, I saw this movie of We Will Go to Bruce Lee, you know, the karate, and he played in the movie. It's a very, you see this huge guy, then I didn't know it's Kareem Abdul fighting against him. And once he made an interview and he said, listen, Bruce Lee teach me how to stretch. It's interesting. And I was stretching hours, and that was what let me extend my career until 42 or 43 years old. So it's still there since then in my mind, also for me. I mean, I'm not 30, not 40. I go to gym, and I think the stretching is very important. What do you think?
so
And
stretching,
is this, do you have to stretch before and after the game, or it's more important after the game? What do you think? The practice of the
so
game.
let's try and break some myths about this subject. So stretching is a tool to achieve what? To achieve a higher range of motions, to achieve more elasticity in our muscles, in our soft tissues. Some people have it naturally. Some people are more, how do you say? Some people just are more limber than other people. But we discovered during the years, along the years, after that I think that in every school, you teach the students to do stretches before they start the activity. Or you probably heard maybe friends or someone talks like, I didn't do stretches before I went running and I pulled a muscle
By the
and
way,
stuff like
I
that.
was a basketball player. I remember from my youth, every time like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, of course,
Static
stretching.
stretches. Yeah, me also. And I'm younger than you, and I still did static stretches before every football practice.
Now I think I see more basketball players, they have this coach and they do like more things in motion, you know, but
A
something
lot
changed.
more dynamic work. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So research discovers that in some cases and in some sports, doing static stretches like we used to do can decrease like the way you perform. They
Interesting.
are putting you in greater risk for injuries, for muscle injuries and ligament injuries. And they transformed from a static and very prolonged stretching routine before a practice to more dynamic and to dynamic stretches that mimic your actions on the court. So stuff that will look similar or will prepare you in a dynamic way to do what you're going to do in a few minutes on the court.
Interesting.
It doesn't mean that we don't need to do stretches or static stretches. My recommendation, if you want to do stretches, do a unit. It's like a specific training, like you're going to do a weight room and you lift weights. You can take a unit, 40 minutes or 1 hour of your day, if you're a professional, do only stretches. It's like practice. It's like another training for your body. It's a different kind of training. It's a different kind of discipline, but it's a proper unit of practice. So I would suggest that maybe on a day off, maybe after practice, maybe if you have only one unit of basketball or football or whatever, do another unit during the day of stretching, static stretching, full body. Doesn't matter what you want to stretch. With your permission, another thing that I want to talk about is cross training. Okay? When I'm saying cross training is meaning that we're adding a unit, not every day, but we're adding to our week another unit of a different kind of sport. So, for example, if I'm a professional basketball player, maybe I will add a unit of yoga or Pilates or swimming, which uses a different kind of muscle, different kind of range of motions. Yoga and Pilates specifically are working a lot about stretching our body, getting to the end of our range of motions, and we discover that it helps us. It's an effort of prevention. So if I know
Yeah, and
that
is there harm in stretching? Is there harm in stretching? Or you think, as you said, that stretching before, specifically before the game, is not necessarily helping?
So I'm working with basketball players. I wouldn't recommend doing static stretches. What is a static stretch? It's like taking our leg higher and stretch for 20 seconds. This is a static stretch. I don't want that. If I want to stretch the same thing, I will ask him maybe to do a dynamic one
Yeah.
and do leg swings.
Yeah. And anyway, it's not a strong move that can happen something, you know what I mean?
Exactly. But it's not a passive stretch. You need to look it from the point of view of the players. In a few moments, he's going to be on the court, running his life off. He's gonna run like crazy.
Yeah.
There is no sense of, stretching the muscle as far as he can, because the muscle needs to be toned. The muscle needs to be full of blood and ready to contract very strong. Besides that we know that we are doing static stretches, we are also creating micro tears in the muscle. And we don't want to harm the tissue before we are going on the court. So again, specifically in basketball, and I think that also in football or soccer, I wouldn't recommend static stretches before going to practice.
Okay. Yeah, and we have a few minutes more. First, I want to tell you that was really, really exciting for me. Really, maybe the most exciting session, and I had coaches and other everything. Thank you very much. Again, I'm going to that time that the war started, and I know how pastoralic and how beautiful is that area where you are staying. My son was, and I was there with him sometimes, sleeping 50 meters from the Jordan River. It's so beautiful, and we met really beautiful people. I will not forget them. Really, I will not forget them. But since then, I mean, your life went upside down. Always threatening of bombings from Lebanon. You needed to move from Kfar Blue. I don't know where did you go around Israel. Tell me a bit about this time. Well, still it's not normal, but now at least you went back to your home which is Kfar Blum.
Yes. So if you're taking me back, when I met you, it was I just signed in Galil. It was the beginning for me in the Galil Elyon in the club, not the beginning in this area in the country, but it was my first month in the job. And month and a half afterwards came this terrible day of the 7th of October, and like you said, our life changed, and the basketball stopped for more than a month. Everything stopped for a while. But the things that you were talking about Galil Elyon, the nice people, the
But you
amazing
were the
people.
team that suffered the most from all the league by far. And even I remember this movie about, there was a small short movie that Chaim Reichbach sent me. I remember, and I know that you were by far suffering from more than the others.
Yeah. We spent most of the season playing away games. So we couldn't play in Kfar Blum. Nobody would allow that. And that was understandable. But on the same time, nobody took responsibility. So we were practicing under fire in Kfar Blum, under sirens and bombings and everything, going to the shelter every once in a while. It's funny, we had two amazing overseas players, and when they come,
By the way, I met them. I met them in the Cheder Ochel, when I came to visit John. I spoke with the guys, and I spoke with Lotam Amsalem. It's going to finish now. We will go on. Yeah, sorry.
So I'm just saying, we were having, when we were hearing the bombing or the sirens, all the Israelis started to clap, so the guys from overseas won't hear the sirens, so we can keep on practicing. Like, we had to create this continuity, otherwise we didn't have any chance. But I want to say something about the group of guys that was there, the players, the staff, the players that was there in the first season of the war. They understood their part. I mean, who cares about basketball in those days? I was lucky to be with the staff and with those group of players that I think understood their mission in times that nobody cares about basketball. They understood that a full community is behind them. The community of Galil Elyon, the kibbutzim, the moshavim, which were outside of their homes in hotels and evacuated.
Hundreds of thousands. Yeah.
And if not evacuated, they were under bombs in their homes. So they understood that they have to give something back, and they were playing and fighting and didn't relegate. They didn't go down to the second division. They were fighting till the end, and they make the effort counted. It was everything for the community, for the fans. It was really amazing to see, and I'm lucky to be part of it, even though it was very difficult 2 years.
When you were sometimes abandoned by the government, when everything was, they said they abandoned the north. It was really, really difficult situation. Yeah.
You have to say that we did get a lot of help from the Ministry of Tourism that was helping us with hotels, and when we had to leave the north. I mean, I'm talking about the team, not about the citizens. The team had a little bit of support from the government.
That's good.
But it was really unfortunate situation, for everyone, and the fact that we kept on playing and practicing regardless the circumstances was the biggest win of those 2 seasons.
Amazing. I'll tell you something, Liran, just to close this. I told you it was 2 months for Jean, and he was like a fish in the water, at least socially. He started to go Emek Achula school. I knew it could be amazing for him. I don't know about the basketball. His coach thought that he's Klay Thompson. He put him in the corner waiting for the ball, but he needs to be with the ball as a playmaker. But I don't know. I know socially it could be heaven for him. So it was a kind of trauma, not as bigger as what Israeli lived for us and for Jean. But I will never forget all the people, really all the people from the basketball side, from the adopting family, from Ayelet that took care of everybody. I just wait to come with John, and we postpone it, but I come with John to visit all the people and just to see these places again. I will never forget it. So listen, it was really, really fun. I learned a lot of things. I need to watch again in order to start to understand. I'm waiting for your video, a bit of videos or hologram or what you want. And again, the audience, I encourage you to support, to subscribe for the YouTube channel. We have also an Instagram channel. And this session will be published soon. So thank you, Liran, and Shana Tova.
Thank you, Inon, for the invitation and for the privilege to be here. I'm waiting for more content and waiting for the next episode. Thank you for
very much. The pleasure was all mine. Take care.
See you again. Come for a game. We have tickets for you.
Sure. Bye-bye.